Welcome to Gaza Review Podcast.
As possible. The punishing retaliation of an air assault on Gaza targets by Israeli forces, pushing the casualty count higher with each cycle, dimming the hopes for de-escalation of violence and exposing the harsh reality of a long-standing conflict boiling over into rage once again. What started as a flashpoint over threatened evictions of Palestinian families from the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood of East Jerusalem and clashes at the Al-Aqsa Mosque is now a conflict that the UN Special Envoy to the Middle East says is escalating towards an all-out war. Israel calling up reservists and moving tanks and heavy artillery.
Did you say don't accidentally kill her?
No, I said don't jump on her.
Yo, Spunky, what are you doing, dog? You sniffing ass?
Eat it. You got it, bud.
In the Middle East, Israel calling up thousands of reserve troops near Gaza overnight as violence on the streets intensifies. Matt Gutman is on the ground near the border of Gaza with the latest. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. You can see this artillery battery behind me. It's part of this significant escalation by the Israeli military nosing tanks and these artillery pieces right up to the Gaza border. And just in the past few minutes, we saw a rocket launched out of Gaza, heard the booms of Israeli airstrikes, some artillery sounding. This conflict right now seems far from over.
This morning, those streamers of smoke as Hamas launches more rockets into Israel. And all night long, the Israeli military pummeling Gaza with tank and artillery fire, lighting up the night sky. Columns of Israeli tanks moving right up to the Gaza border in the biggest escalation in 7 years. Adding to the hundreds of air sorties that have brought down buildings and turned parts of Gaza into a moonscape. Our team in Gaza meeting the Sahab family, picking their children's toys from the mound of rubble that, until 2 days ago, was their home. Zahir Sahab says that minutes before the bombs came raining down, he received a call from the Israeli military. He says, "We were told we had 5 minutes to get out, and we had to warn our neighbors." Palestinian health officials say 119 are dead, 50 of them women and children, since the fighting began. Civilians on both sides enduring the worst of it. Just outside of Tel Aviv, we were at an apartment complex destroyed by a rocket. People had just climbed those blackened stairwells to collect whatever they could salvage from their possessions.
We hear one of the sirens going off. It's a code red.
And suddenly those sirens sounded again. Terrified residents pouring out, some whimpering in fear, climbing into the same bomb shelter in which they'd survived an attack just hours earlier.
You can hear those rockets pounding right now. You can hear the booms. We're all kind of squeezing into this bomb shelter right now.
Inside, the fear and heat stifling.
8 Israelis killed so far, 150 wounded in rocket attacks. Now, the Israeli government says it has no timetable for the end of this fighting. Worth noting, mediation efforts afoot by American and Egyptian envoys trying to broker a ceasefire here. George.
No, 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 no.
You ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
The number of Palestinians killed has now risen to 119, including 31 children. The Israeli army said operations overnight were designed to destroy a network of tunnels used by Palestinian militants. It said it wasn't feasible to warn civilians, as it had done before strikes on Gaza tower blocks earlier in the week. Tanks and artillery have now joined ground troops on the border, and fears of an Israeli incursion have prompted Palestinian families living near the border to flee. Palestinian militant groups fired more rockets into Israel overnight. More than 1,800 have been launched since Monday. 9 Israelis have been killed. Now, all of this